ready to start, I will introduce you. Do you have Haresh there?
Yeah, ma'am. Please go ahead.
It's all good. Okay, so I'll move now to this presentation by Mitsu, Parikh. I apologize if I don't get the pronunciation correct. And Mahaseth, gender bias, the legal work culture in Nepal. I will just say that both Mitsu and Harsh are from the world of legal research, which is a academic, they provide academic research services to government and private enterprise. And Mitsu has actually, interestingly, done a dual master's, respectively, from Gujarat National University in Comparative International Law and the University of Sydney in legal research. So she obviously definitely likes that research and has published fairly widely, and has also received the Best Student Dean's List, as has Harsh. So we've got some high quality here. Harsh received his prize for the Best Law Student and Engineering Scholar Award, and he has published also, and he works as a research associate with the world of legal research, and his internships have moved him towards areas of Asian studies, public international law and human rights. So now we'll hear about women in Nepal in law. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would like to apologize on behalf of my co-author, Harsh Mahaseth, as he has just landed from Singapore to Nepal. So he has some network issue, but he has sent me his recording. And if you allow me, then I would like to play his recording. Am I audible?
Yeah, yes, you are. I think that Bonnie will set up your recording. She will assist with that.
Okay, I'll just table my equipment and I'll play his video as well.
Are you doing the video from your end, are you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You have to share.
Yeah, I'm sorry for this.
Isn't technology wonderful? Maybe if you just pull the laptop lid down a bit, we can see.
Sure, I'll do that. I hope he's audible now, and if you're not able to hear him, I will deliver his speech. Okay. Is it better now?
Yeah, that's fine. Try talking, Ash, so we can hear you. Can he hear us?
We're presenting on the theme Women in Law with our topic title Gender Bias, the Legal Work Culture.
You might need to turn it up. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes. Sorry, is it already on? Is there a problem in hearing him?
Yeah, no, it's on. We can see him, although he's dark, but yes, you will need to turn the sound to maximum.
Okay, let me try to in a better way. I really apologize for all this. Is he lighter now?
Yeah, that's fine. Let's try. Let's start.
Okay, let me try this again.
Along with Ms. Mitsu, a senior researcher at the World of Legal Research, we are presenting on the theme Women in Law with our topic title Gender Bias, the Legal Work Culture in Nepal. While the number of women law graduates have increased in the past few years, and there are programs conducted by law firms and organizations to empower women, largely treated unequally compared to peers. Gender stereotypes, workplace structures, and the patriarchal mindset of the Nepali society all act as barriers. Through our research, we have outlined many possible barriers and efforts made by the organizations, law firms, and government. And we are trying to identify the barriers, analyze the situation, and hopefully recommend methods to tackle such barriers. The first woman received her certificate from the Supreme Court of Nepal in 1960, but she only started her practice in 1963. And over half a century later, the legal demographics still see men dominating the profession. Even though over half a century has passed for Nepal's first woman lawyer, gender norms continue to hold women from the legal profession. In a survey conducted by the Nepal Bar Association, it was seen that women's participation as lawyers and judges was very nominal. According to the Nepal Bar Association, there are a total of 18,160 lawyers in Nepal, and only 2,200 of them are women. This is in comparison to the 2010 report, where it was indicated that there were only 1,000 women in the legal profession. The legal profession is still a male-dominated sector, and the low participation of women reinforces traditional gender roles. With the beginning of women entering the legal profession between the 1960s and 70s, the census data since then till now, 2020, includes information about practicing lawyers and allows us to see how the ratio of male to female lawyers have been increasing over the past half a century. Women have been practicing in the legal profession. However, a sad state of affairs sees women around the world remaining marginalized in the senior rankings of the profession, and sexism is still endemic. That's true in Nepal as well, as Nepali women are still largely unequally treated compared to their male peers. We see this even when it comes to claiming citizenship, which can be done by birth through fathers, but not through mothers. Astonishingly, only 8.3% of Nepali women in the labor force are paid, and they are disproportionately represented in low-skill occupations. In the legal profession, not only are they underpaid, but they also face discrimination. Law firms in Nepal prefer to hire male lawyers instead of women. Even if they are hired, they are paid less than their male counterparts. And women in Nepal generally maintain a lower status than their male counterparts, ranking lower than men in almost every social indicator. And the adult female literacy rate in Nepal is only 49%, while that for Nepali men is 72%. And about 28% of Nepali women are reported to have faced sexual and gender-based violence, which is only the reported instances. Interviews with female legal professionals show that bullying, more restriction in court, fewer opportunities for advancement, and the need to have a let-it-go attitude when comments are made are all part of this problem. They have disproportionate responsibilities to take care of their homes and children, which also makes it harder for them to advance in the field than men. While some say that a government quota can help in increasing this participation, others say increasing women's enrollment in law school is key to improving equality while maintaining quality. It's not only about increasing participation, but also sensitizing the people. Most of the female legal professionals are found in the capital city of Kathmandu, while in the other districts and states, we do not see much of a female legal professional population. And there is a need to increase sensitization programs as well as also increase the number of outreach, development, or training programs that take place in these other states. And hopefully this could help in increasing the number of female lawyers. Nepal has seen women take the post of powerful positions such as the President, the Speaker of Parliament, and the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. This all has occurred after 2016. This was momentous for women's rights movement in Nepal and around the world. And the new constitution also reserves 33% of seats for women in federal and provincial parliaments. And this result of local elections also brought a wave of women leadership in politics and governance, electing over 14,000 women leaders throughout the country. However, apart from the barriers that I might have already mentioned, there are certain barriers that are unique to the Nepalese legal system as well. Advocate Meera Dhungana in an interview spoke about the uncomfortable atmosphere around addressing the judges. In Nepal, the word used to address the judge is Shriman, which means husband, which is awkward and uncomfortable for the female lawyers. Such discomfort could lead to underconfidence, which does negatively impact their case. People have mocked female lawyers for addressing the judge using this term. There are even instances where clients laugh as well. A term that was used even before women served as lawyers or judges. And while there are attempts to change the term, but this is to no avail. Judges have the power to change this in practice itself, but they have not. And as it has become a tradition, women are forced to use the term. In that interview, Advocate Meera Dhungana spoke about how women in other countries might be shocked that Nepali advocates fighting for the justice of others are themselves working against their wills in the courts, addressing the judges as Shriman or husband. In an interview, advocate Bimala Kharka spoke about how the term Shriman reflects the early domination of the legal profession by men, and it was unthought of for the possibility of there being women judges. There are also male lawyers that have supported the change of this term, but as we can see, nothing has been changed. In interviews, we found out that judges don't take female advocates seriously as well. Also, it was shocking to see the atmosphere around the courtrooms where male lawyers sometimes go about asking irrelevant questions and raising their voice during the court proceedings, while female lawyers have noted that they had to stay on track, keep calm and argue, and such behavior as their male counterparts were not tolerated. Advocates voiced out that in the legal profession, men are given more priority and opportunities regardless of fellow women who are working hard night and day. In an interview with BBC, former Chief Justice Sushila Karki spoke about how, when she was studying law, only a few female students were studying as well, and that too in Kathmandu. She spoke about how people in the plain regions do not have proportional representation and focused on the need for proportional representation. So if we do see the disproportionate responsibilities and the need to improve equality while maintaining equality, women should be encouraged to join legal studies. One of the top law schools in Nepal consists of a male-to-female ratio of 3:1. For every 75 male students, there are only 25 female students. And this is at one of the best law schools in the country, in the capital. The numbers are far worse in other states of the nation. There is a need for more parity in the legal field. And for this, I now would like to hand the floor to my co-presenter, Ms. Mitsu, who will look at the efforts made by the different actors, the challenges, and the way ahead. Thank you.
Hello. Now, I would like to take forward the discussion, and I would like to talk about the challenges and especially the non-private actors who have taken part in improving this situation. First of all, undeniably, NGOs have played the major role in improving situation of legal education in Nepal. I would like to start with a statement given by Attorney General Yagyamurthy that they said that when you provide legal education to women, especially in a country like Nepal, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, the major two benefits it would bring is that you will have more dedicated lawyers, and second is by studying law itself, the women will learn their rights as self. Their rights for themselves. As I said before, the NGOs have played a major role in improving the situation. There is an NGO called DLA Piper. It is a non-profit organization, and it has provided long-term pro bono legal assistance to various parts of the world. And one of the work they have done has been in Nepal. They have organized many seminars, workshops, especially long and short workshops both for women lawyers. And this step has been further led by a Canadian-based organization and United Nations Development Program. They have conducted a training program where they start with teaching basics of legal education like professionalism, legal ethics. Then on the next day, they also teach constitutional law, commercial law. This was started in 2015, but now every year they have been adding some more subjects like IPR, then Domestic Violence Act. And now in 2020, they also added a workshop on ADR, mediation, ADR, and stuff like that. Second, the Bar Association, Nepal Bar Association, has also organized a conference where almost every year 400 to 500 women lawyers meet across and they discuss. They don't have to be a professional litigator, but they just need to have legal education. On top of all this, many individuals and other committees have worked in this area as well. First of all, as Harsh mentioned before, Sushila Kumari has also initiated a scholarship program. They started women lawyer joining and then women lawyer interest group. They also have worked a lot. Also, NRI people have been providing many scholarship in this area. Now, coming to the last part of the discussion, that will be challenges ahead and how can we provide method to curb them. Foremost challenge is not by providing more legal education, but it is by changing the mindset. In a country like this, where the patriarchal society is prevalent and is there in every aspect of the world, where females' meekness is still celebrated and the household responsibility is not shared by male at all, in this area, it is very important to create campaigns, ads, social behavior structure in a way that women are given importance. Equality status and double standard prevalent in courts, law offices, firms, and legal institutions and law colleges itself has been a major actor in taking a woman's confidence downward. The awkwardness in the court, and then a woman enters into a college, a classroom, the mockery, bullying, and name calling, and general stereotype is one of the major factors that women, even if they are able to study, they are not preferring legal education. Now, one of the situations which can be handled by government, as mentioned before, is scholarship. And the next would be that providing law firms, giving women job, female lawyers job, tax deduction, or some kind of benefits. Even courts can prioritize women over women in a way that their hearing can be heard first, less public is present, and also there can be a committee which improvises that women is not awkward, indecent questions are not asked to them, or a judge, female judge is generally takes over the case where she can at least understand the situation. Now, female judge recruitment is also promoted. Now, as coming to the last, we need some kind of research support group which can understand, which can provide female when they hear their problems in working, their discrimination, then they can at least come out with day-to-day solutions. And they, if nothing else, then some counselors who nothing else than at least hear the problem of women lawyer. Then enforcement of law. According to Sustainable Development Goal 5, which provides gender equality, the Nepalese constitution provided Article 18, which prohibits any kind of discrimination of women. At the same time, Article 38 provides for affirmative actions, which says that you can provide a law or you can enact a legislation which promotes and protects women. Which, according to this, in these countries where the cases are long, where the whistleblowers are tagged badly, and where a woman's obedience is more privilege and is admired more than her knowledge, there can be a short process conducted by the government or NGO or private sector itself where female can have more support. Now, coming to the last and a very important point is that what we are dealing with now is not a single problem. I'd like to conclude by saying that this is the end of it is a vicious cycle. That first, women are as such reluctant to join this as they have many unshared responsibility at house, and then they come to work. At that time, they were not given enough responsibility, and they are also treated to double standard in courts and law firms itself. So when you don't get enough responsibility, even though you have equal amount of knowledge, intellectual, your confidence take a huge loss, and in that you don't feel your morale gets affected, and ultimately your efficiency gets affected, and then your performance. So in that way, ultimately female is forced to leave the job, and when they leave the job, employers are again reluctant to invest time in female lawyers. So ultimately this is a vicious cycle, and female are getting affected a lot. So I would like to end our presentation by saying that not a single factor, but every actor in government, judges, other lawyers, and society itself has to play a very definite role in promoting the gender equality in legal education and legal profession in Nepal. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mitsu and Harsh. We have about 2 minutes to 3 minutes. I don't know if anyone has sent you a question directly, or if anyone has.
Let me check as well.
I have a question, unless anyone else has a question. That was a fascinating discussion. It's really interesting. In Australia, we're still women aren't doing well either. So, you know, it's a very slow process, but I'm very interested in I think field judges could show leadership, particularly with the language and the mockery that goes around that. And so obviously if there were some female judges, they might finally start to change that and stand up for them. And maybe with judges, when they come to these global meetings and they get together and maybe have some more presentations and so forth to them, they could start to understand that that is really inappropriate and start to change that attitude top down. And also there's a question from Michael, are there any senior male lawyers who are speaking out? So yes, it's like male judges or senior male lawyers who are respected, who have to stand up and say this is not appropriate. I'll let you answer that quickly because we do have to go to the other session soon.
I would like to answer that by quoting statement by Attorney General that he said that women should be given legal education, but they should also participate more and work hard enough and appropriately. So we are dealing with a country and mentality who inherently thinks that women are inferior. I'll quickly just give a small example that I had gone to a police station filing for a complaint of domestic violence before some years when this act was new. And the police asked, husband beats the wife. What's new in that? What's wrong in that? So we are not only questioning the system, we are questioning mindset here.
Yeah, and it's a long and hard road. But look, a very thoughtful and provoking discussion to have right at the end of this conference. There are so many issues left for law to address, so I don't think we'll ever become redundant, so there's no fear of that. And I'd just like to thank you. I would clap on behalf of everyone.